Have you ever met a guy who seems perfect at first glance? He's charming, respectful, and even your friends think he's a catch. But somehow, things always end in heartbreak, leaving you wondering what went wrong. Today, we're diving into the world of good men who use women, not the obvious players, but the ones who do it as an unintended side effect. These guys aren't out to deceive on purpose, but their unresolved issues create a trail of emotional wreckage. We'll explore different types, share real-life examples, spot the warning signs, and talk about what you can do if you find yourself in this situation. Buckle up, because understanding this could save you from unnecessary pain. Let's start with one of the most common types, the broken man. Picture this: a guy who's genuinely drawn to you. He pursues you, makes you feel special, and everything seems to be building towards something real. But as soon as you start reciprocating, showing real interest or getting closer, he pulls back like he's dodging a swarm of bees. It's not that he doesn't like you, it's that closeness triggers something deep inside him, maybe from past hurts he hasn't dealt with. For instance, imagine a scenario where you've been dating for a few weeks. He's texting you good morning every day, planning fun outings, and sharing laughs. Then, one evening, you open up about your feelings, and suddenly, his responses slow down. He might say he's busy with work or needs space, but really, it's his internal alarm going off. Why does this happen? Often these men have emotional wounds from previous relationships, family dynamics, or even childhood experiences that make vulnerability feel like a threat. They crave connection in theory, but in practice, it scares them. And here's the tricky part: they might not even know it themselves. Some will swear they're ready for commitment during those early, exciting stages. They'll talk about future plans or how much they value loyalty. But when push comes to shove, they bolt or sabotage things subtly. Think of it like a faulty engine in a car. It runs smooth at first, but under pressure, it sputters and stalls. Expanding on this, there are subtypes within the broken category. Take the guy who's still reeling from a brutal breakup. Maybe his ex cheated, leaving him with trust issues that manifest as hot and cold behavior. One day, he's all in, showering you with affection. The next, he's distant, questioning everything. Or consider the man with unresolved grief, perhaps from losing a loved one. His emotions swing wildly, and you end up riding an emotional roller coaster. In a real-world example, let's say you're at a party together, and he introduces you as his girlfriend, making you feel on top of the world. But later that week, he cancels plans last minute with vague excuses, leaving you confused and second-guessing yourself. Now, it's important to note that everyone has baggage, but with these guys, the issues run deep and untreated. They might hide it well for the first month or two, projecting confidence and stability. But clues slip out. Watch for inconsistencies in their stories about past relationships. Do they always paint themselves as the victim? Or do they avoid talking about emotions altogether? These are red flags that something's amiss beneath the surface. Moving on to another type, the man who's simply not ready for a relationship, yet he acts like he is. This one is frustrating because his actions scream boyfriend material, but his mindset is stuck in single mode. He takes you on romantic dates, holds your hand in public, and integrates into your life seamlessly. Your family might adore him, thinking he's the one. But deep down, he's not committed to the idea of settling down. Maybe he's fresh out of a long-term thing, focusing on career goals, or just enjoying his freedom. The problem? He doesn't communicate this up front, or if he does, it's buried in mixed signals. Imagine this playing out. You've been seeing each other for a couple of months, and things are heating up. He talks about weekend getaways and meeting his friends. Then out of nowhere, he drops the bomb. I'm not really looking for anything serious right now. It's like signing up for a marathon, but quitting at mile 1. If he's honest from the start, that's one thing. But often, these guys string you along because they enjoy the companionship without the strings. They might say things like, "Let's just see where this goes," which sounds hopeful but really means they're keeping options open. To make matters worse, some of these men use dating as a distraction from their own life chaos. Perhaps they're dealing with job stress, financial woes, or personal growth they haven't tackled. You become a temporary boost to their ego, a fun escape, but when reality hits, they fade away. A classic example: he plans a fancy dinner, tells you how amazing you are, but then ghosts for days afterward, only to resurface with apologies and more promises. This cycle leaves you feeling used, even if he didn't set out to hurt you. Let's deepen this with a story. Suppose you meet a guy at a coffee shop, charming, ambitious, with a great sense of humor. Dates flow naturally. Movies, hikes, late-night talks. He seems invested, remembering little details about your life. But as you push for more exclusivity, he hesitates. I love spending time with you, but I'm not in a place for labels. If you ignore this and keep going, hoping he'll change, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. These men aren't villains. They're just mismatched in timing. The key is recognizing it early and walking away if your goals don't align. Next up, the traumatized man, a close cousin to the broken type but with more specific scars. Trauma can stem from various sources: abusive relationships, betrayal by friends, or even professional failures that shattered his self-worth. This guy might come across as stable and kind, but triggers set off unpredictable reactions. His mood swings could rival a stormy sea, affectionate and engaged one moment, withdrawn and irritable the next. For example, if something reminds him of his past pain, like an argument that echoes an old fight, he might shut down completely, ignoring texts or picking fights over nothing. You might think, "What did I do wrong?" But it's not about you. It's his unhealed wounds surfacing. These men often don't realize the extent of their issues. They might brush it off as just having a bad day, but the pattern repeats, eroding your confidence. To illustrate, let's think about a couple on a road trip. Everything's perfect. Scenic views, shared playlists. Then, a minor disagreement about directions escalates because it taps into his fear of being controlled, rooted in a controlling ex. He goes silent for hours, leaving you in emotional limbo. Over time, this inconsistency makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells, which is a hallmark of being used unintentionally. Now, shifting gears to the man with an avoidant attachment style. This one's fascinating because it's often wired from early life experiences like inconsistent parenting. He values independence above all, and closeness feels suffocating. He'll pursue you aggressively at first, drawn to the thrill of the chase. But as you bond, he pulls away to regain space. A telltale sign? He goes for impossible relationships. Maybe women who are unavailable, long distance, or even those who treat him poorly, because it feels safe and familiar. When you treat him well, it throws him off. He might even sabotage it subconsciously. Picture this. After a passionate weekend together, he suddenly needs time to think, disappearing for a week. Then he returns like nothing happened, only for the cycle to repeat. This type isn't avoiding you specifically, it's intimacy in general. They might idealize relationships from afar, but panic when they're real. If you're anxious attachment yourself, this dynamic can become toxic, with you chasing and him retreating. Breaking the cycle requires him to seek therapy, like cognitive behavioral approaches to rewire those patterns. Another intriguing type is the emotionally childish man. At first, he's a breath of fresh air. Playful, flirty, full of energy that makes you feel alive. Dates are fun, filled with laughter and adventure. But when things turn serious, his immaturity shines through. He avoids responsibility like a kid dodges chores. Blame shifting is his go-to. It's not my fault the plans fell through. Traffic was bad. Or he plays the victim eternally, expecting you to fix his problems without reciprocating. Deep conversations? Forget it. He skims the surface, dodging talks about feelings or future plans. Show vulnerability, and he might stonewall or dismiss it. You're overreacting. Confidence crumbles under feedback. He gets defensive, turning constructive criticism into a battle. In a scenario, imagine planning a trip together. He's excited about the fun parts, but flakes on logistics, leaving you to handle everything. When you call him out, he sulks or accuses you of nagging. Over time, you realize he's seeking a caregiver, not a partner, someone to nurture his whims without demanding growth. As we explore these types, a pattern emerges. Many of these good men are seeking healers rather than equals. They're drawn to empathetic women who might try to fix them, but that's a trap. You can't love someone into wholeness. They must choose to work on themselves, perhaps through therapy, self-reflection, or support groups. Now, let's talk signs that apply across the board, signaling a man might be using you, even if he's good at heart. First and foremost, his behavior doesn't add up. A healthy guy is consistent. His words match his actions. With a user, it's chaos. He might be hot one week, cold the next, leaving you confused. Normal dating has uncertainties like wondering if he'll call after a first date, but confusion here is deeper, sleeping together passionately, then radio silence, declaring you're special while eyeing others. Another red flag, constant reassurance that doesn't stick. You voice concerns. Why were you flirting with her? And he has a smooth explanation. I flirt with everyone. It means nothing. It sounds plausible at first, but the incidents pile up. Your gut says something's off, but his words gaslight you into doubting yourself. Worse yet, your mental health suffers. Anxiety creeps in. You overanalyze texts, lose sleep wondering where you stand. Healthy relationships build you up, not break you down. If interactions leave you drained, that's a sign to reevaluate. Other clues, he avoids deep commitments, like meeting family or planning ahead. Or he breadcrumbs, just enough attention to keep you hooked without full investment. Pay attention to how he handles conflict. Does he listen and grow, or deflect and disappear? So, what if you spot these in a guy you're seeing? First, don't fall into the fixer trap. Thinking, if I just love him enough, he'll change, is a recipe for pain. Encourage him to seek help if he's open, but prioritize your well-being. Set boundaries. I need consistency or this won't work. If he can't meet them, walk away gracefully. Prevention is key. Date with eyes open. Vet for emotional maturity early. Ask about past relationships. How did they end? What did he learn? Observe how he treats others, not just you. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Remember, there are plenty of truly good men out there, ones without these hidden pitfalls. They communicate openly, show up consistently, and grow with you. Don't settle for potential. Choose presence. In wrapping up, recognizing these patterns empowers you to protect your heart. It's not about labeling all men as users, but understanding that good intentions don't always equal good outcomes. Stay aware, stay strong, and seek connections that uplift you. Thanks for joining this deep dive. Here's to healthier relationships ahead.